I was trying to like come up with a video game character that would have been like funny as president, not stereotypical either, like not like Laura Croft or something, like somebody interesting. And then he said that and lost it. I lost him.
He said that. Well, the reason I say that is because she's getting pummeled right now, and it's not good. I don't like it.
She is. Never mind. Yeah, I agree. It's called being an adult.
I always love when Brent starts with, never mind.
Yep.
Because that means there's something really bad on the other side. I really want to hear it.
Start the show.
Cheers, cheers, click, click.
Cheers, cheers. You're just gonna.
Clink.
I'm gonna do. Yeah,
fair.
there you go. Yeah.
John went for it. I'm kind of surprised.
Coronavirus over here. Hello and welcome to Strange Happy Hour. I am one of your hosts, Brent the Jesterhead Metcalfe. Along to my right, the infected,
John, it's John,
and the carrier,
The dispatcher, Mark Plover.
If you're wondering why, it's because he went to PAX and got the PAX plague.
Yeah.
We're trying our best to not touch or be anywhere near him.
and
Yet
I just
here we are.
clanked
The
his
podcast.
drink.
So next week when we're run by zombies, you'll understand why. This, of course, is the Strange Happy Hour, where each and every week we come together to talk to you about the nerdy video game news and interesting, cool, hip tech news. But of course, we do not have enough time to talk about all the news. There is a very long list of stories that you will find in the description, floating vaguely above Mark like some sort of plague cloud.
Below.
I actually wish I had a plague mascot award on the show. We do have time, of course, to cover the three topics that we ourselves come together each and every week with one decisive blow decision made individually to discuss with you folks, which we like to call the important. I love it. I love it so much when I get you. It makes me feel
You
so
can
happy.
do that all day, and it's just like I'm literally just one of these days. I'm just gonna take his microphone and just like yank it from the cord on the bottom. The important.
Anyways, moving on. We're gonna talk to Handsome John first, just because I think we should start with some nice positive news.
I agree. So this month we're talking about Games of Gold and PlayStation Plus. Games of Gold has got for Xbox One, Batman: The Enemy Within, the complete season, March 1st through the 31st, and Shantae's Half Genie Hero, March 16th through April 15th.
I hate the split.
Yeah,
date
that's a
thing
little
they do.
weird to me.
It drives me up
but
the
at
wall.
the same time, like, say you forgot for the first 2 weeks, you didn't lose 2 games. So that's not awful. And so you said that Shantae the Half Genie Hero was actually a good platform
Yeah,
game.
it's fantastic. A lot of fun.
I wish I could have played it. And
day you
played
will.
Batman Within, so it's definitely worth your time. Xbox 360 is getting Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, March 1st through the 15th, and Sonic Generations, the good version of the Sonic game, March 16th through the 31st, which you'll understand why here in 2.5 seconds. PlayStation's PS Plus games
I don't understand yet.
are Shadow of the Colossus and Sonic Forces, which Sonic Forces was the bad game out of the two that was released of Sonic games that year.
Not very good.
It was like 10 seconds.
But there's actually an add-on.
Close
PlayStation members will be able to try out the asymmetrical multiplayer experience Predator Hunting Grounds this month with a weekend trial starting on Friday, March 27th.
That's that Predator exclusive coming to PS4.
Yeah. So it looks interesting. I mean, it would be fun to at least try it out and see how it goes. Also, with PlayStation Now, PlayStation stepping up their game, bringing us Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, Control, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
So, for context, it's important to note that those games, I believe all three were already or are currently on Game Pass. But it is still really cool to see PlayStation Now bringing some stuff into the fold here. Shadow of the Colossus remake by Blue Point Games is something I've been wanting to play for quite some time.
Yeah, I bought all the Tomb Raider games to play them, and I keep getting distracted. And
Oh,
I'm
now you
like, I
can
don't
play.
even know if I
Yeah.
can.
But the Shadow Colossus one, I've been wanting to play. It originally came to PS2. They ported it to PS3. And now this is like a remade version that's basically one-to-one in the sense of like, this is the original game, but they made two control schemes. One that plays exactly the same as the old one, and one for basically the nostalgia filter of like, this is how you think it plays, but that's not really how it actually played. So it's like more modernized and wonderful. Something Raimi. I've talked about him before. He is a game developer who worked on Nuclear Throne and other games. His mother has been doing the Mom versus Final Fantasy 15 Twitter account where she has been basically playing games because he's introduced her to games. So the first one was Final Fantasy 15. Her recent run is Shadow of the Colossus. So it's actually really cool to see this game come out after watching her experience it over tweets where I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Oh, I never played that, or I don't know that sequence. So the ability to like dive right into it.
Am I losing my mind, or did I hear that Shadow of the Colossus was getting a sequel?
There's rumors, and I think the rumor stems from the fact that because Bluepoint did such a great job on this game, and this is the last title they worked on, their next title is going to be an original game, and it's supposed to be a PlayStation exclusive. So a lot of people are trying to put one-to-one of like, hey, they worked on this. This may be the next thing that comes out, which would not... It would be weird because technically the sequel to Shadow Colossus is Eco.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But Control coming is very exciting. We get to play that finally.
Definitely. And it's all $10. If you just wanted to play it for that 1 month, for $10, you could play Control. You could play
Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider and
New Colossus.
I had the other name.
Yeah. Are you sure you're not infected?
I'm pretty sure I am getting sick because my brain doesn't work.
You're just like, But feel free to let us know what you...
Wolfenstein 2.
There we go. Yeah, Wolfenstein, the New Colossus. Let us know what you think about these titles coming out, of course, for this month of March. Xbox technically going into April because that's how they do it every month. It's just so weird. Stop, just 1 month. 1 month span.
They have to be different.
They don't need to be different. They could just support the systems that they have in place.
The thing is they honestly lately, I mean, PlayStation's been doing a little bit better, but
well, I mean, again,
Microsoft's been killing it with theirs.
You're getting 4 games for
it's not even the 4 games.
Two.
Like take the 2 top games and just compare them to each other, and they're still kicking PlayStation's butt.
Well, I think when you have 4 games, it's easier to throw in 2 good games instead of having to like 1 good game and 1 mediocre game or interesting game.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because when PlayStation was doing 4 games, there were definitely back and forth.
Yeah,
there were some years where PlayStation would just swing out of the park, and then that last year I was like, oh,
it was just
there
was a lot of disappointment going on between the Vita and the PS3. I was like,
all this money better be going into The Last of Us Part 2. That's all I know. Microsoft could just simply support their systems that they have in place.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we're going to talk about Mixer and the hullabaloo that's happening there. So I don't know if either of you had a chance to read the article that I said was your homework.
Nope.
Yep, there we go. Perfect. It looks like Mixer is going through all kinds of issues right now. A new report comes out stating that the morale is incredibly low, all-time low. They're reaching all kinds of different... they're having continuous layoffs at the company, running it on a skeleton crew with no idea what's going to happen. Correct, yes.
So they spent millions of dollars on Ninja just to do that?
Yeah,
Correct.
They're trying to compete with Twitch and YouTube streaming or YouTube gaming. But they want to run it with a skeleton crew and like no money.
Yes. So an article here from Windows
That's
Central.
Business.
It's not how any of that works.
Has a report from on MSFT on Microsoft said the employee morale at Microsoft's live streaming platform Mixer was hitting a significant low. Employees are concerned about the future of the service, and there are layoffs taking place there. They actually had the one of the heads of the company. Her name is Shilpa Yadla. She is actually the Mixer head, and she came out and gave like what she would consider a pep talk. It did not sound like it wasn't bad, but it definitely wasn't like
you have potential.
Yeah,
you have potential.
She told the story about a man who like had 1 limb and like became successful. She's like, that's what we could be here. It's like, I don't think you want to describe our company as having one limb.
You want to start off as an amputee and work your way into greatness.
Correct. Mixer's been.
Good story started off when you were already good, right?
Yeah. There's been a couple of interesting articles again from these 2 sources, which have talked about the fact that like Mixer's had a rough couple of months. The original founders have left the company alongside the general manager and a corporate vice president. They've also had to shed 25% of their already skeletal crew and are causing feature releases to slip schedules. So it's a very weird message that Microsoft is sending here, where they're putting the money into stars to come to the platform in the hopes of bringing it up, but they literally can't compete on a feature level because they don't have enough developers to cover the features.
My problem is Microsoft makes more than enough money that they could have taken the loss naturally instead of beating the crap out of themselves while feeding someone else their money. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, who's in charge? Like, I don't. This doesn't sound like a normal Xbox thing, but at the same time, like, why would you want any bad or not Xbox, Microsoft?
I was gonna say.
I'm sorry.
There's a difference.
But the problem is that to me they are the same thing because Xbox is Microsoft. Like that
Two
is
different divisions, but yeah.
I know, but that's this like that. You think of the mentality of how Microsoft attaches to things,
But I don't think Mixer falls under the Xbox division.
no, but it's all going to look bad towards Microsoft.
To me, that's like comparing
and I'm
YouTube.
like, why would you want that right now when you've already got a very competitive console market coming up? You don't want anybody having any feelings towards you.
Conflicting ideologies between two different departments. You have Phil Spencer, who is the myth, the man, the legend right now in the gaming industry, because all he wants is everyone to play his games. And by his games, he means Xbox games. And not just Xbox exclusive, games on Xbox. He wants them to be everywhere.
Yeah.
If he had his way today, you would be able to play Game Pass on Switch and PS4.
Yep.
Like, he wants it in everyone. That's not everybody at the company of Microsoft. So they're worried about making sure their fiscal quarter is fine, and they're making sure they're hitting their timelines. And there's a lot of people who just don't believe in the fact that Mixer can be a competitor. So they're cutting it off at the knees before it has a chance to grow.
Yeah, I mean, sabotaging yourself, that's kind of where I'm getting to. Like, if you're just going to sabotage yourself, why bother giving all that money to Ninja? Why not just cut it off then?
You stole Twitch's biggest streamer.
Correct.
You literally bought the biggest streamer,
Yeah.
and as a result, a bunch of the other like large
Left.
streamers underneath left. Tim the Tatman left.
Yep.
He's a big streamer on Twitch, and whoop, right off, like he's like, oh yeah, well Ninja's going. I guess I should look this up at least. Well, you made a big influence. I don't understand why you wouldn't put all of your cards in on this.
I
Or put
agree.
all your chips in on this. Like this, I don't know. Like you really have a chance
Have some
here.
faith in yourself, for Christ's sake.
Like it even got to the point where I know like a bunch of the small guys that stream even like with strings like Akibab. Like
Yeah.
he decided, or Exphobia.
Yep.
Both of them said, you know what, whatever. I'll jump over to Mix and give it a try. Now they both come back to Twitch.
Yep.
I'm assuming there's a reason for that, but I just don't get why you wouldn't just sort of double down.
They
on this.
they needed to do more with their advertisement for Mixer, getting it out there and kind of comparing it and almost comparing themselves to Twitch, or even doing a lot of events like at PAX or probably what would have been GDC, and just really advertising it heavily.
Mixer had a booth at PAX.
Yeah. How big was it?
It was one of the headline packs or headline booths. It was right next to THQ Nordic.
Because everybody else bowed out. I think it's interesting because you look
Yeah.
at something like the Epic Game Store, right? Which is a competitor to Steam. And one of the ways that Epic has gotten their name everywhere is by being controversial in the headlines, by buying exclusives, and basically barreling their way with the amount of money they have to the top as best as they can. And they will continue to do so. Microsoft had that similar opportunity because YouTube is everywhere and also trying to take over where Twitch is. Twitch is everywhere, owned by Amazon now. So if you want to seriously compete with these people, you have to treat your employees well, and you have to make sure you're taking care of them. And currently, you have people who are so like, oh yeah, that's a big.
Yeah.
Yeah. There'll be a pic
with
somewhere
Ninja
if he
sitting up at the
leaves a little thing there. It's just astonishing to me because you can't complain about your competitors in one hand and then not support your system in the other. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what's happening here. Like, you're telling me that your people are so threadbare as it is, you lay off 25% of the staff, and then your goal is to be like, well, we're like that amputee. You can just be successful. Make the choice. You can either be successful or not. The choice is up to you.
I'm about to say they have money. That's
Yeah.
not the problem. They can get the money if they believed enough in themselves, and that's
Correct.
where I'm like, if you're gonna be a sinking ship, fine, just cut it off, be done with it. Why spend millions of dollars on Ninja and all these other?
Put an announcement out. Say you've got 1 week or
Yeah.
2 weeks or a month left or whatever, that kind of thing. Let Ninja do his slow transfer back to wherever he wants to go. I'm sure he doesn't want to go back to Twitch at this point.
No.
I mean, not to say that Twitch wouldn't welcome him
Of
with
course,
open arms,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
he'd probably go to YouTube Gaming or something like that.
Probably, yeah.
Or see if he's got enough
I mean,
money.
did he
may
really
build some-
leave Twitch on a bad breath?
No.
I mean,
So he had a lot of problems with Twitch at a certain point. Honestly, I think what was sort of
outside of the
a
child
big,
pornography thing or
well,
whatever the hell that popped
it
up,
was pornography in
that
general.
was
but,
given to children.
but I think the big thing for that was sort of like the big blow after he left. But I don't know.
I think what's crazier is that unlike other companies, other parent companies, right? People working at Mixer know they're owned by Microsoft and they know Microsoft has money. So there's no illusion here of
Yeah.
like, oh, we're struggling or there's a financial deficit somewhere. Like, you just legitimately don't want to fund this.
And why isn't Xbox like getting behind to me as a brand, like why is Microsoft as a brand not getting Mixer and Xbox like, hey, we got Ninja, he's gonna be playing, Halo Infinite.
He
and
was.
we got to be doing. I know, and we're just like really start building into this and like getting like all these different people playing all of your specific games that you want them to play, whatever it would be, just to get people enticed.
It's happening. Like that's already happening.
But it's not working.
What's not working is the fact that Mixer is not on everybody's lips because it's not used for everything. When we're talking about
Advertised, like I never see it anywhere, and
Well,
I look at gaming stuff constantly.
not even just that. If you look at the fact that like the Game Awards, where the Game Awards streamed, they streamed on YouTube, and they streamed on Twitch.
Yeah.
They did not stream on Mixer. Why? That's a big problem. Like that's
Yeah.
one of the biggest highlights of the year for games. E3, PAX East. Like you should have streams. You should be talking to companies all the time. You should be talking to Square
or
Enix
making
and say,
your own content that people would want to come see.
I mean, you do both, right? But like the way it's going to work out is just like any other user-driven platform. Like you need users. You need people who are bringing eyes here.
Well,
Square Enix.
That would have been to me like I guess as an ironic piece about PAX was PAX had a Mixer booth front and center like that,
And nobody was there.
but so PAX was running an Apex tournament, but they weren't streaming to Mixer. They were
Yeah.
only streaming to Twitch.
Yep.
Now, granted, they may be part of the Twitch partner program, which, fun fact, you can't simultaneously stream to multiple platforms if you're a partner. I assume like VGAs have some way around that with contracts or this, that, the other.
Yeah.
But I just found it funny. I guess Mixer's one of your platforms there. Why don't you stream to Mixer? Why wouldn't Mixer try to partner with PAX to say,
I'm sorry, that just seems
Hey,
totally anti-capitalist. Oh, you can't make money anywhere else except for on my platform. I'm like,
No, it's just that you can't stream major events on more than one platform
no,
at a
even
time.
streamers, if you're a
no,
partner,
that's a partner. Like that, like Kepley has that issue.
Oh wow!
Like
Oh, yeah.
Kepley's.
That's why I wouldn't join Twitch.
Like,
Yeah.
he's not technically a partner. He's like one of the lower tiers, that kind of thing. But his
Yeah.
agreement still says that he won't simultaneously switch to
And
Twitch
if
and
that's
another.
the case.
streaming
That's where you
platform.
come in as Mixer and go. Guess what? You can stream it everywhere at once.
You can
with
do
us.
whatever you want.
Yeah, you come in with us. But like Square Enix, I get the emails every week. They have a live stream once a week, and it's on YouTube. Only on YouTube, as far as I understand it, where they play a game. The Naughty Dog crew at their social media, or sorry, their community manager team, they play a game every week and they stream on YouTube. And I know that's PlayStation, but my point
Game
is,
Informer does too.
there are people in areas that they do these kinds of things. And if you entice them, if you grab Game Informer, if you partner with IGN, if you partner with these larger outlets who touch other user bases, you grow yourself. But Mixer's not doing any of that.
I mean,
Yeah.
just listening to like, for instance, I was listening to another podcast and they were doing an advertisement for Twitch. It sounded so boring. It sounded like a lawyer wrote it.
Was it a Game Scoop?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that commercial
I'm like,
so bad.
I love Damon, but the way he reads it, I'm like, please tell me they told you to say it that way.
I hope they held you at gunpoint while you read
Yeah,
that. 'Cause
that's
it's
what
awful.
it sounds like. It's like, rate it, and it's like, it's like, oh my god, man,
Awful. But like at least Twitch is again, they're advertising, they're going out there, they're snatching deals, and they literally lost Ninja, one of their biggest superstars, and didn't flinch. They are still going strong. Mixer gained him and other people, as we talked about, and they have done nothing with that.
Yeah, that's a shame. It's just a missed opportunity all over the place.
And if anything, YouTube streaming is increasing in popularity.
Yeah.
Like from a silent majority, I see all the time where people are like, "Yeah, I'm streaming on YouTube." I'm like, they're not even trying. And they're succeeding. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're cutting the budget for your team. It makes no sense.
Yep.
So my heart goes out to all the people there. I completely understand being at a shitty job where you're frustrated and you're not sure what's going to happen.
I'm sure most of you could probably relate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully everything works out for you individually and for Mixer. I don't want Mixer to go down, but I'm more worried about the people than I am the organization, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I like having,
Choice.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like I just you got to have a healthy set of choices. You
Yeah.
can't just be like,
Well,
well, do I want
Competition
this-
makes the industry better.
And actually, when Akibob went to Mixer, I downloaded the app. I still have it on my phone.
Yeah.
They have a good interface. It's not bad. It's very enjoyable. It's cohesive.
It's a very Windows interface, but it's very clean, and,
Yeah.
and that's what they've moved to. It's
Why
very
the
good
hell is
looking.
Mixer not installed on every Windows 10 machine? I don't understand.
Actually, that's a good point. Why isn't a desktop app installed on it? Like
Again, I feel like they're sabotaging themselves.
Yeah.
Candy Crush will be pre-installed on my Windows 10 machine, but Mixer won't.
Correct.
Yeah. Let that sink in.
Let that sink in. Please let us know what you think about Mixer in the comments floating above me like an angry cloud.
Blow.
They should cover accents.
The vodka.
The vodka
in such a way. If you need more ice, take more ice.
I mean,
Coward.
not a coward.
You're not a coward. You've just never been tested. You like to think that if you would pass? I don't need ice. I don't give a shit.
That's fine.
By the way, I was singing the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
That's fine. I'll cough into it next. Nobody will touch it.
Nope.
Never had to knock on wood. Anyways, moving on to our final topic of the show. Maybe final. We're moving really quick today at a nice brisk clip.
No
the
way.
topic of the episode
There's
is if I
no
have the
way that
coronavirus
clock's
and
right.
die.
Did you start that clock late?
No, your topic was fast.
I know it was.
It's maybe 1 minute behind.
I did expect you to take up a lot more time. You usually do.
Don't depend on me, sir.
I don't depend on anything.
I don't have to carry the show every day. Moving on to our final topic of the show, which is about dun 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 the coronavirus.
We talked about it last
cancellation,
week, but
there's more to talk about here.
yeah.
I agree.
At least this is in relation to tech news, you know.
yeah. I mean, this is the technology side of things because obviously a lot of issues have been happening, especially with China having
China.
What is it? 900. Wow.
I have to do that every time.
Having like 80 or 90,000 cases, and entire cities under full quarantine, and we watched the video today of what Chinese SWAT teams have been doing anyway to handle citizens who have the coronavirus or have a fever, even regardless of whether they actually have the coronavirus.
I was going to say that was the key to theirs. Like it's all about your temperature, not about the actual viral outbreak.
So
Water of life, I hear it cures the Pax plague.
Yeah, vodka kills
exactly.
everything.
So a lot of events have been shut down.
Yep.
A lot of issues have been happening. There is some good outlook, I guess, on the Chinese front of things.
Okay.
First and foremost, Apple's primary device assembler, Foxconn, is actually projecting that they're going to be back up to 100% operation here or increasing, I guess, their operation output within the next couple of months.
Why do they think that? Just out of curiosity, do they have any?
I'm assuming that I guess enough of the cases have been handled, and China, because they're a red state, they're a communist state. They have no problem shutting everything down in the citizen. As weird as it sounds,
About to say, this is about to get really offensive really quick. I gotta tell.
because we're Westerners, but the government can come in, shut everything down, and everyone's like, all right, yeah, you're doing this in our best interest. Don't get me wrong, there are some people who are against it, obviously, which is why there was the whole Hong Kong uprising. But realistically, like, the government comes in, shuts everything down because there's a disease, they can contain it very well.
So
if the government came in and shut us down,
why we're getting a transfer of the coronavirus?
Yes, I believe that's what he's saying.
But what I'm saying is, from their perspective, the growth is kind of stopped. Like it's slowed anyway.
Do you think it's actually stopped? Are they lying to us, or are they killing all the people who are infected?
I don't know.
I don't know. We've been watching a few videos that were really.
They've hit us.
I'm on the conspiracy theory train right now.
They've hit us with the false information, which actually is a fun fact because Plague Inc., which is the top grossing game on the Play Store and the App Store, was banned in China because of the spreading false information feature, where if you decided to spread false information, you had a 60% chance that the virus would actually spread.
Yeah. It's a great game.
So China said,
Wow.
Bam.
Yeah. Almost like they were caught red-handed.
That was an awful joke.
It was really good.
That wasn't even one on my list. I enjoy talking about that one because I just think it's funny that they really just showed their hand on that one.
I thought
the
that
red
was
hand.
funny
Well,
that
I
you
mean,
called
like-
them a red state.
I mean,
Anyways,
look up
we
some
don't need to get
videos. I mean,
political.
they're not joking around.
Oh, no, they're
definitely
serious.
taking this super seriously.
And there are plenty of videos of citizens, too, who are terrified.
Yeah, fair enough.
So-
I mean,
so-
they should be, but at the same time, I'm not saying handle it like North Korea did, but at the same time, take it seriously and, don't give any leeway because that's just going to get someone else sick.
Wash your motherfucking hands.
But Foxconn is expecting to start ramping everything up.
That looks good.
The economics, I guess, officials who have started looking at Foxconn said, yes, Q1 is going to look awful for the company. However, Q2 is going to start coming back up because right now, apparently, in their Chinese manufacturing plants, which does about 70% of the manufacturing for Apple, that plant is currently down to 50% capacity.
Makes sense.
I'm not sure what other country the other one's based in, but that one's still operating at full capacity.
Okay.
So that one's going to start ramping up. Apple devices are going to start coming back. Some of the shortages are going to start to come back. And
I'm still pre-ordering my PS5 immediately.
Yep.
yeah, it's just going to come with the coronavirus on it. It's a feature, not a bug.
Oh, gotcha. Maybe it's both.
It'd be really interesting to see exactly if PS5 does get delayed because of this.
We will find out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or
where
we
they're
see some shortages.
I would say they've got to be in production already, mass production already.
100%,
yeah. But anyway, so that was the big one. The next one is a whole slew of events
Canceled.
or actually transformed, quote unquote, into online.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and then isn't that pithy? Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
we're going to transform our events. You don't need to come to us. We'll come to you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's definitely some salesman motto.
So let's see here. Google's Cloud Next
Yep.
was one of the ones that they said they were going to transform into an online space. Now I guess they got. I guess they.
Transform it.
Yeah, it literally said in quotes transforming into an online event. But they're apparently aiming to still hit their April target date with this online experience.
They're going to transform before or after.
Anyway,
live
Adobe
editing.
Summit is also supposed to be moving somewhat to an online space. They've officially canceled it. However, they said they're going to be switching to Summit Online, is what they're going to be calling it.
Okay. Summit Online.
Or I'm sorry, switching Summit to Online. I'm sorry, I thought that was an actual title. Yeah, they said they're going to make it an online experience as well. I don't know how the heck they're going to do that.
And we were told what GDC was.
We're working on it. It's all
Possibly.
on the list.
Yeah, GDC was also on the list as well. That was one that initially Sony and Oculus had pulled out of.
Then Microsoft.
Oh, I didn't realize there was a whole list.
There's a
pullouts on that
whole
one.
list of people.
They
It's
showed a
canceled.
map of what it
Yeah.
looked like, and they were like, half of it? Yeah.
The original update was that it is postponed, possibly canceled, and at this point in time, it is canceled.
Capcom backed
Yeah.
out.
As a matter of fact, plenty of people are actually upset because they cannot get their travel refunded
Yeah, I
because they
saw
bought
that
the
too.
tickets earlier than when the airline started issuing the whole. Hey, you can do the
Yeah.
if you bought your travel within this date, you can refund it.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate.
Let's see. Microsoft canceled its annual Most Valuable Professional Summit, their MVP Summit. So that was from March 15th to 20th. So, like, we have a whole slew of events that are happening this month that have been canceled. April's been canceled. NVIDIA also took the opportunity, I guess, with the cancellations to hit us with the GPU Trade Convention, GTC. I think it's GPU Trade Convention.
Nerds.
Trade Convention. But anyway.
The acronyms just keep getting wilder and wilder.
Yeah. So they canceled their stuff as well. All kinds of fun stuff there. Riot suspended their League Champions Korea, which apparently is I thought was like a one-time tournament. I didn't realize it's apparently an ongoing event that they do. They do a live stream every Sunday, I guess, to recap the previous week. They're canceling that live stream.
Of course. Nothing to recap.
And then it's at this point it's suspended indefinitely.
Yeah, I mean until they can secure this publicly.
Right.
Yeah, because you have to remember that League over there is an event where people go to a stadium and watch competitors.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge deal. It's not the
There's-
same here where you're to watch people online.
I mean, I guess you could make it.
You
that
could
way.
technically, yeah, but I mean those. It's
It
about
takes
the
away from it.
It's literally like telling people you can't go to a football game, but you can watch it on TV. It's the same
I'm
level.
totally okay with that.
I mean,
I think that's fine because
forced.
most people watch football on TV.
No, there's so many people who are fans. Come on.
And that's cool. And I'm so
Right?
glad
I just
they
called
waste
all,
the
all the TV watchers. Not
Yeah,
fans.
exactly.
Those guys. Like,
Yeah, you're not real.
I'm one of them. I don't care. I don't. You come fight
One
me.
of us.
On top of the league, they also canceled the Blizzard canceled the Overwatch League.
Yep.
They're in old South Korea due to coronavirus.
Yep.
They should just
And-
stop drinking the beer.
Did you just add this one?
I'm adding all of these, buddy. I'm updating live.
So
on the fly.
So GDC was not on the list, but we did talk about it because we all knew about it. But Brent here has just added an interesting article from IGN that Mission Impossible 7 has been postponed due to the coronavirus.
Yeah, if we're talking about coronavirus delays, we're talking about the biggest one at the end.
There's no way the Scientologists would let their boy die from the coronavirus.
Of course not. Granted,
They literally have like a slew of people like covering him constantly.
I hope he walks
block.
around like a man suit transformer. Where he's just
Someone else is just like covering him. Like,
they're like it's literally the people that are covering him making the noises. Please let us know what your fears
Honestly,
are with the coronavirus.
there's probably a lot of them that would volunteer for that job compared to what they do.
100%.
I'm sure they could let you know what their fears are because they're probably sitting right next to it. They don't know.
That is true. I do believe that this is going to be really interesting to watch going forward. Again, we've talked about the consoles here.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
talking about cell phones. There are other factors involved here when it comes to just in general all the electronics we utilize legitimately.
So the comparison to this, though, apparently with us coming into the warmer months, they're comparing this to the Spanish influenza. Apparently, it was a what?
Did you watch that, John Oliver?
No,
Oh, buddy. Okay, finish your thought.
I haven't seen that yet.
Okay.
No, but apparently it had a large spike in the winter months leading up, or in the spring months leading up, that kind of thing, because cold weather apparently is a good breeding ground for this kind of thing.
Correct.
And then in the summer months, it nearly vanished because summer months, warm temperatures, that kind of thing, aren't very livable, environments for viruses and bacteria and that kind of thing. So,
and in the following winter, it came back twice as hard.
In the following winter, it affected the entire Earth at like something like 20 or 30 times the magnitude of its original effect.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
So
Go be
the
terrifying.
problem is that we're in the same time frame for that to happen. So China, I think, is prepping to get themselves back up because they've probably done everything that they can to try to contain this and minimize the effects and try to, handle this as well as they can.
How is
or at
it
least so
going
they're
to
telling
live
us.
past all that, though?
What do you mean?
Like, there has to be a shelf life of the virus living outside of a human host. So, how is it going to
3 days apparently is the shelf life outside
Well,
of a human host.
and the infection will continue. It's just going to go downhill. It's not going to spread as quickly. The problem is that the following winter, it's going to come back rampant.
Because the idea is that
it won't die off entirely in the summer.
Everyone's going to be
basically.
like, all right, it's gone. Yeah, everything's great. And CDC's going to be like, no, this has already happened. No, everyone protect
Literally
themselves.
Read your history.
Yeah.
The good news about that is the fact that it is going to take quite some time to get a proper antiviral. So at least having the time to I guess
They're apparently trying other...
I'm trying to say, my God, tread water. Whew. My brain was like, paddle water.
Paddle.
I'm like, I'm not paddling water. You're treading.
paddling.
You're treading.
But apparently there are some prescribed drugs already for certain things. Like there's a drug for HIV that apparently may have some chemical ingredients that will help with the coronavirus or remove it. There's other drugs like they're trying to, I guess, relate back to some things that they were giving out for MERS, which was a different coronavirus strand. There's working on some other drugs in trial testing right now to see if they work. If one of them magically appears and says, hey, it works, guess what? The entire Earth is pretty much just kind of eradicated in the span of a month.
If not, science will work eventually.
Yeah. The anticipation,
So, The Last
though,
of Us is coming up soon.
Yeah, basically. The anticipation, though, of any kind of vaccine is about a year.
Yeah, correct.
And that's something that'll probably get added to the regular vaccine list like SARS and MERS did in the areas that they were affected
Telling
by.
me that I have to go stay in my new house and work from home for 6 months to a year? Shucks.
I already have a work from home job. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about life. Of course, we're going to go over some basic general health tips here. Wash your hands, warm soap and water, 30 seconds under the faucet.
Actually, it's 30 seconds lathering, 30 seconds rinsing.
Also, dry your hands.
Yes.
Just as key. Cough.
Actually, that's where the flu actually, like, they did a study where, like, when they washed their hands, the only thing left after the wet hands was the flu.
That's always
The
good.
drying is actually what gets the flu off of your hands.
Drying your hands, cough into your elbow.
And then
Sleeve.
smear it on your buddy next to you.
Sleeve, arm, elbow. This Count Dracula style. I want to talk your blood. Oh.
Or you can just cover your face like a normal human being and then wash your hands.
I mean, you could do that too, as long as you're
Touch
next
every
to a sink.
doorknob on the way to the
Do
bathroom.
not touch any doorknobs at all, ever. Please let us know about your own fears and your own insight on the coronavirus.
Drag
if
your
we
hand
have
along
been
the wall as you're
wrong
walking.
about anything,
If you haven't seen an episode come out by next Friday, we're probably dead.
you know what happened. One of us is dead, the editor.
At the very least.
And it's been a quick show, so I'm just going to do a couple of quick highlights here. We're not going to go too far into this, but I did want to point out that Nintendo replaced a 95-year-old grandmother's Game Boy.
That was awesome.
So her, this Japanese woman, 95 years old, played Game Boy for years. Literally every day would play Game Boy, and
Tetris.
it broke.
Like OG Game Boy, not
OG
color.
Game Boy, and they couldn't find the parts for it. So her daughter wrote in and was like, "Listen, my mother used to play this every day. Like it just broke. If you could just give us the parts, we'll fix it." And they sent her a brand new, literally like found in the back of the storage unit Game Boy.
I mean, they
and sent
probably
it to
got,
her.
what, a couple hundred sitting around
I'm
or
sure somewhere,
in the
yeah.
tens or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, all right, we can spare it, you know.
But I thought that was really cool. It was very, very cool.
That's awesome.
They announced a brand new Samurai Jack game, which I was like, Samurai Jack is back?
Not
Is
only
this
that,
a
but
thing?
like that
Yeah.
video looked
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, so it looked super dope.
Fun fact, part of PAX was an Adult Swim Games or an Adult Swim after party.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they snuck in.
Yeah, totally.
That's awesome.
We paid for tickets, but no, they had some of the trivia stuff going on. It was very Adult Swim-esque.
Of course, yeah.
The entire
so.
thing. So, like, I got a drawstring bag or whatever that has like the Samurai Jack logo on it.
Jack is the man, some samurai Jack.
Yeah. And then some like pin or like a card or whatever to represent the game and some
cool.
information on it and whatnot. But they were even doing like this little spin cam thing. So they had like a DSLR on like this rotational motor on a platform.
That's cool.
So you and somebody else or a bunch of people could go back to back on top of this platform, and the camera would spin around you and take a ton of shots.
The What's Good Girls did it. It was really cool.
And people could like do like weird motions and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was going to be some green screen thing of like, you know, it
Putting you in the game.
puts you into the game or like, you know, like you're fighting something, you know, but it was actually kind of cool to see anyway, like a bunch of guys. It was more interesting to see that the DSLR, you know, spinning around this platform anyway. It's this really shaky things going on.
I agree. That's cool.
But it was kind of cool because they could slow it down, do slow-mo and all that stuff. It was really neat.
That is really cool. PopCap Games apparently soft released Plants vs. Zombies 3.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I didn't even know about
Yeah.
that until I saw that that news article.
I didn't know they were still doing PvZ. Like,
I am too, considering how much 2 really ruined the game for me.
Yeah.
Like all the microtransactions of the phone.
But they
'Cause on
got
the
back to
phone,
the more the 2D version
Yeah.
of the game. I'm like, I'm totally down with this. This is what I liked about the game.
the phone is a perfect place for that. So is the Vita, but we don't need to talk about that now.
Well, I mean, they were trying to do kind of like the kid version of a shooter,
Yeah.
which I mean, it looked.
It was fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing wrong with it. It was a good game overall. It was just I had other things I'd rather play.
It looks like a modder found a way to play Stadia games on your mobile phone since Google refuses to release that functionality. So you can play it on your phone with an overlay rather than having to have a controller hooked up.
that's neat.
Yeah, because that's functionality they promised that's still not out, in case you're wondering.
The LG G8X Thin Q or whatever with their little side screen attachment has a virtualized controller that you can use too.
Does everybody have that?
No.
There you go. Problem solved.
Although there's an app that you could probably run to do a virtualized controller.
Yeah, he just made it.
I figured there'd be another one already.
I'm sure there is. And a sad piece of news, the creator of the Konami code died,
Yeah,
which, you know, that was kind of cool.
Right up, down, A B. Select. Or start.
riddance.
Is it select or start at the end?
Start. Yeah. But that is all we have for this week. Please, once again, let us know what you think about the coronavirus as well as all of our little tidbits of news. There's some fun facts in there. If there's anything we missed, you can talk to us about it in the comments. But now I think it's time for Last Call.
Last call.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. That one rang
That
in
was
my ears.
solid.
And I don't know why I threw the phone down, because this is my little navigator through
Hey, the haze
thick
machine's
and
doing
thin.
its job.
Of course, you can see here the haze machine doing its job. That we are drinking
Either
the
that or
water
One or the
of life. We call it Effen Cucumber Vodka. This is brought to us here by the dispatcher himself. It is rather delicious.
It is.
It was effing delicious.
It was effing delicious. Honestly, we were literally drinking this with a little bit of ice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it
just-
waters down the vodka just enough that it's...
During the summer, oh man.
Yeah. The only complaint I had is that I didn't have enough time to go to the store and get a cucumber, because that makes it cucumber. Of course, we do have our strange garage with all the things that we're hooking up there. Anything exciting to tell us about?
We had our first race.
Oh, the first race.
Actually, that was 2 weeks ago.
The
I talked
last
about
race.
We talked about that last week. I
All
think.
the
Yeah.
races.
We had another race this past weekend.
The final race.
I was in PAX, so I didn't race. However, our other guys, Kelly and Russell, both raced.
Oh, nice.
I'm still trying to work with them to see if I can get the GoPro footage from them on that.
Ooh.
Because apparently it was a fantastic day to race. Kelly completed 4 laps
Oh, cool.
in about an hour and 45, and Russell completed 3 laps in about 2 hours. So,
Russell, come on. Step it up, dude.
Man, dude, what did you just take a nap?
I mean, it's a 10-mile track. So
Yeah. Kelly's kicking your ass right now.
Yeah.
We're calling you out.
He was just in there bumping.
I'll
along.
race you too.
Sure.
I'm going to like go in the woods and then come back on the other side and be like, oh, I made it.
Oh, there's a lap.
That's a lap. Of course, we do have our Discord. Please feel free to jump in there. It's been a little quiet recently, and I think that's because everyone's in their backlog mode. They're just playing through lots of
I
games.
totally am.
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
I even got a new game that I was like, ooh, Steins Gate Elite is on sale. I'm gonna grab
I'll
that.
say that the only reason that we're not, or the only reason we're jumping in Discord at all lately is,
To talk about all of our cool,
we're talking about production stuff.
production stuff. We're so cool. The weekly reading has to do with Jerry Lawson, who is an engineer who changed video game industry forever. He's a black engineer because it was Black History Month in February, but he came before Nintendo and Atari, and it's a very good read, actually. I don't normally read USA Today, but enjoyed it quite a bit. A friend of ours sent it to us. I also added a little extra thing for this week, which is called Cool Stuff. Because I found this the other day, where a player beat Calamity Ganon in Breath of the Wild in 11 seconds. So using the
Man.
mechanics of the game, they found a way to basically take the stasis shot, time it with
Yeah.
a bunch of arrows, and just hit him on this weak point repeatedly over and over again, so that by the time the stasis turns off, it just kills him.
Yeah.
Super dope. And that's
I thought it was gonna be
phase
with bombs.
1 of the final boss.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So thought that was really cool. Again, cool ass shit. Stuff is what I wrote, but it's fine. And of course, the weekly deal is going to be a natural digital painting kit humble bundle. That's what it is. It's a humble bundle, always a humble bundle. But it allows you to paint on your tablets, computers, all kinds of cool stuff. Finally, before we end the show, we do our question of the week. And this week is, what embarrasses you most in front of others?
Ooh.
I got mine if you want me to start.
Yeah, go ahead.
So for me, it's always my smell.
I'm glad I don't have to say it. Thank you.
I have a very terrible sense of smell. So if I can smell something,
You know it's bad.
it's bad. Well, it's strong, whatever that may be. Like garlic's one of my favorite ingredients for that reason, because I can smell garlic real easy. And so this weekend was a perfect example where I have a pair of shoes. They make my feet stink. I could not tell how bad they were until I took said shoes off, and I was like, my God.
If I could smell this, whew, I killed
It's
somebody.
awful in here. And the wife enters the room and goes, what is that smell? And I was like, this is like my least favorite thing in the world because I'm always self-conscious about this. I'm more worried that I'm smelling and I can't smell it. But when I can smell it, it just makes it way worse for me. So, yeah, stank. I also pride myself on my cleanliness.
It is getting foggy in here.
Can't you tell? Is it literally still running? This
Yes,
entire
it
time?
is.
I've been running it since about an hour and a half ago.
We're testing a fog machine, in case you were wondering.
Yeah, for the production stuff that he's talking about. By the way, check out the Queen City Rocket League Invitational QC RLI this weekend.
It's a lot of words.
By the time you guys are seeing this, it'll be tomorrow, Saturday.
A lot of words.
A lot of words.
What about you, Mark?
Most publicly embarrassed. So, at one point, and honestly, I'll put blame on this with the old tumbleweed and the Jaeger himself.
Ooh.
As part of the reason for my insecurity with this. And this is much less of an issue now as it used to be.
Most people have a problem with public masturbation.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
was gonna ask, I'm
once I've
surprised
done it
it's
on
not the
camera once or
masturbation.
twice, you know, it's okay. But anyway,
Do you like to tease the camera? Do it with your back to the camera and just like, oh. You flirt a little
no,
bit.
Grab from behind.
no shirt, you just can't see anything from like the waist up.
exactly,
Right? Yeah. No, actually, the most embarrassing thing actually was a stutter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So if I'm particularly nervous or unsure, that kind of thing, like when I first moved here, I was very nervous about the whole situation of leaving the safety of Florida where I had an established job and this,
Wait,
that,
you
the other.
thought Florida was safe?
By comparison. Yeah. But having a safe, stable job, having a good place to live and everything else, and making the jump to decide to move back here to Charlotte,
Yeah.
and completely changing the field that I was working in, because I was going from aviation to computer science, something that I didn't have a degree in, but had, you know, plenty of experience doing. It was just sort of I'm very nervous all the time.
Yeah.
And I had a very bad stutter as a result. And Kepley and Dylan very much drilled hard on that one.
So I'm not in any way trying to make fun of you, but did you hate that song Stutter? I can't remember what it was. I can tell you're lying to me because of the way you stutter, 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 stutter. I'll pull up the song. Okay,
all right,
yeah.
yeah.
Doesn't matter. Move on.
But anyway, no,
awful
it was something that was kind of interesting.
It was a
And
question. It's very curious.
for other people that may not know, but the person who interviewed me whenever I first joined the position did help me feel a little bit more comfortable in the issue of a stutter.
I know why.
Yeah, Brent will relate because he knows who this person is. John, you probably don't, but
Never met him.
But there was a specific manager or specific high up person that we had anyway that was responsible for development, and he had a very bad stutter himself, regardless of how confident or inconfident he was, you know, in what was happening. So my stutter became sort of one of those big things for me of I feel, I guess, not as confident myself, which then in turn makes a stutter, and then people make fun of it, which then in turn, you know, hurts my confidence.
I can
and
understand
it's
where
just
you're
a vicious
coming
cycle.
from. I mean,
Absolutely, I understand. Yeah. My older brother, actually had a really bad stutter growing up. That was a point that he was also self-conscious on, that every now and then I used to jab him in, because that's what you do as brothers.
yeah, you're a horrible person.
I always have been.
That's fine.
Okay.
My actual pet peeve is when I have visitors
Not
in my
pet
house.
peeve.
Embarrassment.
When
I'm
embarrassed.
sorry, I'm embarrassed when someone enters my house and it is not almost antiseptically clean.
Oh, your house. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have some of that issue too. I have like acute OCD in that.
Yeah, like if I know I'm gonna have people coming over, I have to have. I will clean days beforehand
Oh, never mind. No,
and
that's
spend
not me.
all of my free time cleaning as much as possible, except for Brent because I don't care what he thinks.
Yeah, what was that? I'm over every week,
Yeah.
Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah, and the floor's still muddy, and I don't care.
Yeah.
But
It
if Mark
actually
was
work-
going to come over, I'd mop.
It works for me because I'm like, oh, okay, Abel, you
It's
can walk
gonna
on this
rain for
nasty
4
floor.
straight days. I'm like, well, let me tell you how often I'm just going to have to wipe his paws off every day. Mm-hmm. It still gets mud everywhere. Mm-hmm. But no, I definitely, be like not having the supplies. Like if you do have guests come over to stay at your house, making sure you have the supplies, that they're comfortable and everything feels clean. Like they don't have to second guess anything you're doing. And, I have to go through the pantry because Mom will have stuff in there from 2017, and I have to make sure we don't try to kill them.
See, my problem is I'm a procrastinator in the same respect. While I would like to, make sure everything is spotless when somebody shows up, I just don't think about it until they're getting ready to show up. And then it's like, scramble. I got to put everything everywhere. I got to do this. I need to take Lysol wipes and run them around, and I'll leave them here and do this, that, and the other. And
I've been meaning to talk to you about the cleanliness of this house. But we can do that off air.
Okay.
No, that's a good one. I like that one too, yeah.
100%.
Please let us know what embarrasses you most in front of others in the comment section floating above me like a rabid bat. Below!
But I will 100% fart in front of everyone.
You can fart in front of anybody you want. But until next time, cheers.
Cheers.
Don't touch me.
I want my glass on that one.